How's everybody doing? How was lunch? Good? 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 All right, great. Okay. My name is Nelson Chu, co-founder of High Five. It's my pleasure to be here speaking with you here today. 台湾的朋友大家好. If you're coming from abroad, welcome to Taiwan. When I heard about this conferences, I was wondering whether I should speak in Mandarin or English. But I was told that we have real-time translation, so we're okay. But I was wondering whether those real-time translation are going to be done by a machine or human. That's the stuff that I think about every single day. Because at High Five, we're always thinking about how to use AI to help brands to get better customer engagement. So what is customer engagement really? Right? Customer engagement is different than customer service. Customer service is when back in the days when we're watching television, we see a product that we like, we call the number on the screen and say, we need to place an order. That's customer service. We're no longer doing a lot of customer service because we're doing more of a customer engagement. So what has changed from customer service to customer engagement? We're now more real-time than ever, right? Why are we more real-time than ever? Right? In the past, if I want to call my friend, I'm going to go and make the phone call, but today I'm going to go ahead and Facebook Messenger my friend, right? When I want to call my parents in the past, right, that's what I do, but now I'm going to line my parents, right? Now, when you go to work, you're supposed to use your company email to reach out to your coworker, right? But now you line your coworkers. So what has changed is consumer behavior has changed. We now want to get questions and answers right away, right? So now you're not being passive. You're waiting for responses immediately. So that's what customer engagement is. How do we quickly respond to the other person on the other side of the chat? So what have we seen is that consumer behavior has changed, but businesses are a little bit slower. So now over the last 2 years, we have seen challenges from brands and enterprise to make the switch from customer service to customer engagement. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. The last 2 years, we have worked with over 100 different clients here in Taiwan and Hong Kong from different industry, from automobile, from banking, insurance, investment, real estate, private education. Every industry are being impacted. They're looking for a new solution so they can serve their customers better. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. It's how do we make our customer experience, customer engagement better on this new era of messaging, right? So first, I'm going to go ahead and bring you their stories, right? How each customer is overcoming their challenges and what the technology that we're using to enable them to take the next step. And then after that, I'll go over some of the newer technology that is coming that I think as a company, as a business, you can take advantage of. Right? The first story I'd like to bring to you is a hotel of ours, a client of ours, Shangri-La's Hotel. Right here in Taipei, they have a spot here. And when they reached out to us, the marketing department said, we need a way to better engage with our customers. And we thought, well, do you need help with marketing, engagement, Facebook? We said, well, no. We're great at Facebook. We're great online. Our customer engagement is better than ever, right? But what's the problem is their customer engagement on those social channels is so good that now customers are skipping the traditional channels on email and telephone, and they're reaching out to the marketing department for support. Now, as a marketer, you sign up to be a great marketing person. You don't sign up to be a great customer support. Right? So we've seen some brands that what they do is they actually just shut down the channels and say, no, we're not going to communicate with you here. But what they're doing is they're stepping up, they're taking the challenge and say, we want to provide a great customer experience because that's what hotel is about, right? You care about your customers, you care about customer experience. So they said, well, we need help to automate some of the repetitive tasks and the requests that are coming in. So we said, well, what are some of the most repetitive tasks? Oh, they said booking, right? So imagine you check into the hotel, right? You check into the hotel, you put down your luggages, you take a deep breath, and you say, off we go. Now you go to Taipei, travel around the city, go to the places you like. There's so many great places here. But then at 4 or 5 p.m., you said, well, I'm kind of tired, right? I want to go back to the hotel, take some rest, and go to the restaurant. So in the past, they would have to figure out who to call, where to call, right? But now they're able to talk to the chatbot and say, I have a table for 3, and these are the restaurants I want to go to, and I want to make my booking directly. So with that, the consumer can now finish the booking within the chatbot, and when they go back to the hotel, the table is already ready, and they have a good time. So it's great for the consumer, right? They have a great experience. Now, it's even better for the marketing team because now they don't have to figure out how to send those data to the restaurant and make sure the bookings are there available. Now the data just flow to the restaurants. Now the restaurant is able to get more people coming to the restaurants because the process is so much easier, right? So now, as a marketer, you are thinking, now I provide a great experience for my customers, what's next, right? People don't stay in a hotel forever, right? Hopefully they don't. They leave, and then sooner or later, you want them to come back. So now, if you provide a great experience, the customer has allowed you a very personal channel for you to communicate with them, right? At any time you decided to say, I know that person loves Italian, and we have great promotional this month, and I say, okay, for those who love Italian, I'm going to send them a promotional message and say, we have a great event this month if you come to our restaurants, and then these are some of the discounts you can get. So you can bring them back on this new channel. Right? We've been sending emails in the past. You guys know how the open rate for email is, right? And you don't want to call people on the phone because that's so intrusive, right? And that's back in the days. We're not there any longer. So this is one of the stories that I show you that the marketing department from this hotel has stepped up and stepped up to the challenge and bringing some of the most innovative solutions to their team. The next story I would like to bring to you is 伊甸基金会. Now, in Taiwan, we know who they are, but for those of you who are not familiar, they are a welfare foundation, right? And as a nonprofit, you're always strapped for resource, unlike a business. So they don't have a huge team. So it's very funny here that in Taiwan, there's one person that has two roles, right? There's one person that has the role of a marketer and a customer service. Anybody know what the role is? Yeah? I think I heard it, 小编, right? In Taiwan, this is probably the only place that has this position called 小编. So they're taking on marketing and customer service at the same time. So for them, they need a way to automate this process as well. But for them, this is even more challenging because there's actually two audiences, right? On one side, you have people that are looking for help, right? People who are needing for help, that doesn't have the resources. Those are coming to Eden and asking, how do I get more resources? How do I get things for my children? How do I serve my the elderlies and things like that? And there's other side of audience, right? There's the people who are generous and willing to donate, right? They need to figure out what is the quickest and easiest way for me to donate. I'm already donating. I don't want to go through a painful process of doing the donation. So they need to make sure that whatever it is, the process they have set up, is great on both sides of the party, right? So what they asked us to do is, can you create a chatbot that will be able to help all the users between both sides? We said, yeah, okay. So the first thing we did was we created a chatbot that is able to help by putting some of those most frequently answered questions into the chatbot. So the users can go ahead and pick those options. But at times, people will still like to ask questions, right? So if they don't find something that they need, they'll go ahead and ask a question. Now, we're not at a point where AI is completely taking over humans, right? So are we ready to use AI in the chatbot? Well, there are ways to do it, right? You don't have to use AI completely to take over a conversation. What we did is we did what we call hybrid mode. Well, the hybrid mode is, for example, somebody asks a question, the AI will try to determine if they can answer it. If it has high confidence that they can answer the question, it will go ahead and reply. But if it does not, what does it do? It will go ahead and reach out to the agent and say, this user is asking this question, but I think these are all the possible answers, right? And the human agent can say, oh, this one, right? And then right away, the answer gets shoot out to the user, and then they get their response. So in a way, the best solution right now at this point is not having AI to take over conversation. It's having a human and a machine working together in the hybrid mode. So for the user, they get their answers quickly. For the agent, they save a lot of time because they just have to pick the answer, right? And we know the answer is always consistent. And they don't have to write the content every single time. But what's more beneficial is for the AI, right? We know that in AI, the most important and most critical part is quality label data, right? And you think about it, every time the agent click, there's label data. Every time they click, there's data. So we take those label data, we put it back to AI, and we train itself. The next time you come and ask the same question, the AI will figure out how to reply, right? We take the data labeling, all the hard work into the process, so we make it easy for the agent, make it easy for the customer, we make it even easy for AI, right? The other story that I would like to bring to you is I think most people are familiar with this brand, Xindongyang, right? They have been here in Taiwan since 1972, right? We go to the airport, they're there. We go to places with tourists, they're always there. And one of their initiatives the last decade is if people come to Taiwan and they love their goods, when they go back to the home country, they can still order online, right? So they have been doing offline and online for quite a while. And one of the things that is also transitioning is people are skipping online, right? And they're going right to their social channels. And that's why they also need a similar solutions for their brand. And one of the things that is totally different is because they're a business, they are not just looking to serve customers. They need to understand their customers. They need to understand customer behavior. And the way to do that is, if you think about it, in the past, there's so much data. There's data when you call a call center. There's data when you shut out an email. There's data every time you send a message. But without AI in the past, it's really hard to organize those data. Now, with machine learning, we can figure out what people are asking about. What are their intentions? What are people looking for, right? So if we summarize that by using AI, we can report a high-level view back to management and say, oh, this is the products people are looking for. This is why they like it. This is why they don't like it. This is why they buy so much. That's why they don't like to buy it, right? So we have a high overview of exactly what's going on for all the conversation you have in your brand. And we're talking about real time, right? In the past, if everything is offline, you have to go to the store, ask the sales rep, for feedbacks, right? But now with this, everything is recorded and there's AI, we can tell you exactly in real time what's happening, right? Another client I'd like to bring to you is the story is a little bit different. They're in the finance industry, right? So even banks are looking for new solutions. This is a bank, actually this is the first social bank here in Taiwan. In the banking industry, we know that the way to get new customers is to have more branches and locations. Now, they're changing to a different way of connecting with the client. They're gonna go ahead and reach out to the new customers using social. And they're targeting to the young adults. And what they're doing is, if you're a Banky customer, right, and you want to promote Banky to your friend, every time they spend money, you get a rebate. Interesting, right? You guys can sign up. So every time your friends spend money, you get cash back. Right, that's the way to promote on social, right? But this is a new type of service. So with the younger generation, right, do you want to give them a 50-page of document saying this is what we do and sign here? No, we don't, right? We need to make it fun. We need to make it interactive, right? That's why they have access to design a chatbot that can go through and be more interactive, right? You can play with the chatbot, you can know their services, right? And you're ready, you sign up. And then best of all, you can always go back to the chatbot and check your social point. If your friends are not spending enough money, you want to encourage your friend to spend more money, right? And then you get more cash back. So these are some of the ways that we have helped the bank to get more interactions, more user engagement with their customers. So another stories I would like to bring to you is Nansan Renshou. If you don't know, they're actually just across the street. Their story is a little bit more interesting. If you look at the building, this is a huge building, right? One of the challenges they have is actually putting more people into the building. What I mean by that is the recruiting team came to us and say, well, this is what we do in the past. We host an event, we invite a lot of people, and we try to hire new candidates to join our company. But the process is so painful. We don't know who are the best candidates, what if they fit into our company, and if they like what we do. So every 3 months, right, they're doing this over and over again. It's so much work, so much money, so much time. So one of the things they wanted to do was, can we design a chatbot that can help us to understand who are the best candidates, right? So they have a new chatbot that came out in line. So the thing they do is they invite a lot of people to come in. It's almost like a game. At the same time, it'll tell you what type of profession you should be in, right? If you are a salesperson, engineer, professor, whatever, it will tell you exactly what your profession should be. At the same time, it will tell you your personality as well, right? So for the consumer, they get a good feedback of who they are and what they can do with their career. But for Nansan, it's a little bit different. They are now able to find out, these are some of the best candidates that we have, right? Instantly. Now they can just focus on the people they're interested in, right? If 90% of the candidates are not, the people are not your candidates, then you don't have to focus on them. You just focus on the one that you need to get to, right? Now they can, instead of spamming everybody on new messages, they can just focus on the 5-10%, right? So what we can do is that we can help them to kind of focus on who the real customers are, the real audiences, so they can put the best attention and spend most of the time on that sector, right? So that's what we do. So this is all about what happened the last 2 years. Everything I show you is in the past, right? But we're here to talk about the future. What's going to come up next year, the year after? So I'm going to go over some of the things that I think is going to come up very soon. This is a timeline of what happened in our space. If you look at 2015, there's a lot of rule-based chatbot out in the market. And what I mean by rule-based chatbot is chatbot that doesn't have artificial intelligence. It's pretty much keyword and buttons and menus, right? We've seen a lot of those the last couple of years. And around 2017, we start seeing companies implement AI into their chatbots. And most of the technology that we use is called classification, right? It's basically what classification is. If somebody asks a question, right, there's actually so many different ways to ask the question. There's 1,000 ways to ask the question. We just need to figure out what the question is. So AI will understand the question, classify it into one particular question, and then we'll be able to reply with an answer. So that's what classification is. And we've been doing that for about 2 years. That's nothing new. AI has been there for a while. But what is more interesting this year is that there's new technology that we can use to do Q&A. Now, Q&A is different than classification. Classification, you need somebody to write an answer so you know how to send it to, right? Q&A is the AI will be able to respond without humans writing out the answer. So imagine this, right? Let's say you have our travel agency, and you take a lot of contents, and let's say in Tokyo, right? You put a lot of contents in Tokyo, and you feed it to your chatbot. The chatbot go through everything and understand everything about Tokyo, right? And then your customer come and ask, what are some of the best places to travel around Tokyo? Your chatbot responds, right? Which restaurant should I go? It tell you, right? So your chatbot can turn into an industry expert if you feed in the right data. And you don't have to have a human to try to write down all the answers behind the scene. So what will enable us to do that means if whatever industry you're in, you can create a chatbot that will help your user and find what they need. If you think about how people book a travel plan today, right now, right? They Google it, they look at blogs, they do a lot of research, right? Everything is done being manually. Imagine having a chatbot will do all that for you. You just ask a question and comes the answer. You will be able to build a very personal relationship with your customer, right? When they're ready to travel, travel may take 2 months of planning, 1 month of planning, right? Then you build that relationship, and when they're ready to place an order, you're going to be the first in line, right? So that's coming up next. Once we get to that point, in about 2 or 3 years, we're going to get to the next level where now your chatbot knows a lot about your customers. You can provide very, very personal communications, right? It becomes a virtual personal assistant. Anything that's related to your industry, right, that customer can ask. Think about whatever industry you're in, if you have a personal assistant for your customer, are they going to stick around? Yeah, they will, right? And once we get to that point, after that, your chatbot can be even more strategic. And what I mean by strategic is, if you think about it, anybody here heard about AlphaGo? Anybody? Okay, yeah, a lot of hands. So AlphaGo is a machine, an AI that is beating human at the Go game, right? Because it is smart, it is strategic. Every time a human makes a step, right, AlphaGo makes another step. The human makes a move, the machine makes the move. So it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but it's very smart, very strategic. Now, if you think about a conversation, what is it? Somebody asks a question, the chatbot answer. Back and forth, back and forth. One move, right? Now, if we take the same technology in the future, we apply that to our chatbot. Your chatbot can become very strategic, right? Whatever your goal is, right? In Go, you're trying to win the game, but in business, it might be we want them to book a ticket. We want them to make a purchase. We want to sign up for an event. Whatever your strategic goal is, if we implement that technology into our chatbot, it's going to be very smart. It's going to help you to speed up your process and even help the consumer. They're here because they're looking to spend, right? You just need to show them the way. So when we get to that point, we will be able to help customers to improve their experience. And as a brand, we're going to automate a lot of the process. And I think this is great for both sides. Hopefully, this is all the things that you're interested today and some of the things that I'll share with you in the future. If you're interested to know more, feel free to go to our website or talk to our chatbot. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you.